Hey guys, it's Christina. How's it going? Well, I've been trying out a lot of new things classroom management wise, and I think a big reason for that is I'm teaching a different grade level, and so I feel like some of the stuff I did teaching 5th grade may not be as effective teaching 3rd grade. And so there's a few different things I've been trying that I really liked that I wanted to share with you guys. In the past, I did a video where I did 10 classroom management hacks or tips. And then today I just wanted to share 5 more that I've really liked this year teaching a new grade level. Okay, so first of all, teaching a new grade level, since I have 3rd graders, they all came from 2nd grade. So I knew and my coworkers told me this, they were so amazing, but they were trying to warn me don't forget, they're babies. It's they're younger, and it's not like 5th graders. I'm now working with 3rd graders that just came from 2nd grade, so it's a lot different. And so they said when you do steps with them, it's going to be harder for them to follow these steps, and you're gonna have to break it down more. And so one thing I've really liked is this magnets system for materials. And so instead of me saying you need this, 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 and this, I just got some pictures online, printed them off in color, and then I put I had my aide put some magnets on the back. She's so amazing. And the office laminated them for me. And so when they need materials, I just put them up on the board and I'll say, you need these materials on the rug, ready to go. They'll grab everything and they can look up and see what it is without me having to verbally just keep repeating it. So I feel like that's been something that's been really helpful, and I've loved having that. And they're so cute. I love having the little magnets. So the next thing I've really loved is, I call it beat the timer. And I just noticed that, and I've noticed this with different groups, that sometimes it takes them a while to transition. So if your class is taking a while, this might help you out. And so what I did is I wrote up 3 areas that I'd like to see them go a little bit faster as they transition. So maybe lining up, going to the rug, or the other one was cleanup. And what I told them is, you won't know when, but I'm going to time you, and I might count in my head, I might have my cell phone out, and I might be timing you to see how fast you guys go. And I said, I'm not gonna do it all the time, I'm just gonna do it sometimes. And so when they line up, I might start the timer. And then let's say they lined up in 32 seconds. And I'll say, once the last person is quiet, that's when I'll stop the timer. And I'll say, okay, that took us 32 seconds. And they won't know if I timed them. It's so funny. They'll be like, she's timing us, or they'll think I'm timing them. And I'm like, oh, I wasn't that time, but remember, we want to get this down anyway, And it just kind of makes it fun, kind of makes it like a game almost. But and they don't realize they're getting their transitions faster and faster, And so I'll write their time up on the board, and I'll say, if you guys beat this time, I will add 2 points to your point total, and I'll be talking about that soon. And so maybe I'll time them again another day when they're not knowing, and I'll say, oh, this time it took 28 seconds. You guys were, 2 seconds faster, way to go. So that means you get your 2 class points, and so it just makes it really fun. And we have all those times up on the board, and they just try to beat their times every time. So if it's taking them a while to line up or do something, I would highly suggest something like this. One thing I've really been loving is having class points. So I decided to start with a certain amount of points on Monday or the beginning of the week. And I told them, okay, I'm gonna give you guys 10 points at the beginning of the week. Let's see if we can keep these points by the end of the week. The reason why I like to start with some instead of 0 is because I like to be able to have some points to take from if I need to. And so without going to the negative, unless, they're really not doing well. But so I start with 10, and I'll say, okay, let's see if we can keep all 10 points by the end of the week. Or maybe we can have more than that, or it might be less. And I'll say, that's how many points I'm gonna give each of you by the end of the week in your class dojo point scores or something like that. And they love it. So if maybe they were really disruptive or something in music, I'll say, okay, I'm gonna have to take a class point for that. That wasn't very good. Or in the hallway, I'll say, that was so good. That is definitely a class point. And they've been doing really well with it, and they've responded well to it as well. So, or if you have call outs and stuff, you'll say, people keep calling out, I will be taking one of your class points. And usually it helps a lot. So I've really liked doing something like that. And this last week, they got so many points. They got like over 20 points. So I was like, wow, like they are really doing well with this, and they respond well to it. So this might be something you might want to try if you want them to do a little bit better during lesson, hallway, different things like that. So, okay, this next thing has to do with an item that I've mentioned before in some of my past videos, but I've actually been using it quite a bit this year, and it's been so awesome. So in the past, I've mentioned having a doorbell, one of those doorbells you could use for like classroom management. I have loved mine this year. It's been so great. But the fun thing is there's just so many different, rings that you can choose from, and there's some for the holidays too, which I think will be really fun for the kids. But this year I've noticed a big thing we're working on is transitions and just like basic classroom management things. And so I decided, okay, they need some kind of a sound and a signal. And so I told them, when I ring this doorbell, that's your signal to go to the rug. And they each have their own little spot on the carpet, like a little carpet circle, and they're put down with Velcro. And so I'll say, when you hear that doorbell, that means you come to the rug. And sometimes I time them, and so it just gets it pretty fast, and you can practice it until they get it down. But when they hear that doorbell, without me saying anything, they just go to the rug. So it makes it really nice. I would suggest having a doorbell for different things, maybe different transitions, but I've had it just for that. So when they hear it, they know exactly what to do, and that's been really nice. So I've liked that. Or another example of how I'll use it is I'll put the materials magnets up on the board, and I'll say, when I ring the doorbell, I want you to get these materials and come to the rug. And then I'll ring it. They'll grab all their stuff and they'll go right to the rug. So that's another way you could use both of those things that I mentioned as well. Okay, last but not least, item number 5, or thing number 5 I like to do classroom management wise, is I like to have a signal if a student is really struggling with calling out or doing something in particular that they're repetitively doing. They might not be aware of it, so if you have a signal, they will see that and hopefully fix it. So I have some students in the past where one of them will say, okay, what signal would you like to have? And they'll help me pick the signal. So it might be a snap, it might be me tapping on their desk, it might be me going like this, or it might be like a little clap or something, or I'll go like this, something like that. So if you have like a little signal for them, they'll know they're doing it, and hopefully they'll stop. I know for some kids, when I do that signal, they'll be like, oh, and they'll immediately stop. But if they don't, then maybe I'll have things in place. So I know there's been some kids will say, okay, I have 10 dots on this Post-it right here. If I do the signal and you don't follow it, I'm gonna take one of your dots. Let's see how many dots you can have left by the end of the day, something like that. So having a little signal with them is really great. So it's just between you and that student, and not everybody in the classroom. And so, yeah, I think something like that is really effective to have. Okay guys, those are 5 different classroom management hacks or tips that I've really been loving this year and other years as well, that I hope will help you as well if you're looking for a few little things to just help out classroom management wise. If you want to see another video like this, I also have other tips I can share as well. So if you like it, give this video a thumbs up or comment down below. And please subscribe if you haven't. And thank you so much for watching.